Tonight's just one of those nights. You wanna sit down, nice hot cup of coffee, some nice tunes, nice casual vibes, nothing crazy. I'm hoping my schedule gets updated tomorrow, but if it doesn't, I've got a 6-day work week ahead of me, so that'll be fun. Whether or not that comes to be a thing or whatever, I don't know. I'll find out come Monday. If I do get it off, though, I might stream. We'll see. But no, I'm thinking for today, I might just do like a real casual kind of build. Well, I say casual, but the thing I have in mind, like this area would be great. I'm more or less approaching what I feel like would be kind of the end of what I have planned for this. So, I want to do something kind of special. Show up and take care of all of this. Ah, you dick. Fine, I'll go sleep. Jesus. But no, like I want to do kind of like a larger scale build. Obviously not something fucking crazy, but just something that I'll do more and more in my worlds to try and enhance my building ability, you know? So, let me go ahead and empty out my inventory. Let me actually keep that on me just in case, because if I need to get rid of the rain, I will. I won't need that. How far out is still a while away? Okay. So, how do I want to do this? Maybe we'll do some don't even know what I want to make it out of. Maybe I do. That is not how you use that. So Ring Official, thank you for the follow. Doing good. Do the stone cutter. I really need the Dark Wizard to show up and fucking obliterate all this stuff real quick. Be helpful. Right, all that stuff is already in the... Yeah, it's already here. So I don't need to go making more. This is just a personal one I chucked together. A real casual one. Nothing too crazy. Well, I say not too crazy, but meanwhile numbers go so, you know. I'm reaching the tail end of what I want to do with it, so I'm kind of just dicking around, building whatever. But I actually want to put, like, some level of thought into it. Yep. It's nothing crazy. Like, it's not anything that's absurdly detailed or fucking wildly overpowered. It's just a box, more or less. Initially, I was planning on putting a, the reactor down here. I think it's still down here, but I thought about doing my ME system down here as well, but kind of just decided against it and left it empty. Didn't really do anything with it. That hole's just there because I had stuff that I needed. It's nothing crazy. Create lends itself pretty well to being able to build goofy stuff like this. Ah, good. All the items have finally disappeared. God, no. Stop throwing things. Yeah, I feel that. I've been going down a lot of the rabbit holes of like empty Minecraft servers and like all of the previous builds and stuff in them. And it made me sit down and think for a moment of like all the servers that I've actually built stuff on and like actually had semi-impressive stuff on. I don't know, there's something real nice about finally having a moment just to sit down and really build something, really think about what you're doing and actually put some level of effort into it. Actually, do I have calcite? I do. That's not what I want. There we go. Mm-hmm. good way to do so too. It's how I started learning how to set up factories and shit for games like Satisfactory, Factorio, like all of them. I'm still shit at it, but me and a friend of mine are currently working our way through Satisfactory, and we just entered tier 9. So we're getting into all the fucking goofy shit with the particle accelerators and the actually putting Sam to use other than shoving it into the sink. Alright, so how do I... Satisfactory is one of those games where if you play Factorio but want to enjoy it in a 3D space, that's the game you play. Oops, shit. Alright, so we'll do... God, how do I want to do this? You know what? It's on and off. More or less, it's kind of just whenever I feel like it. Usually it's around this time, because around this time I'm up and don't really have anything planned. Honestly, I prefer streaming at night. God, I gotta stop doing that. I don't need it in my hotbar anymore, so I can go there for now. But no, generally speaking, as far as streaming often goes, I don't. Wait, really? Oh shit, that wasn't even 64. Fuck yeah. More or less kind of just like a last sort of, I guess, put together kind of deal. Because I'm getting to the point in this pack that I've thrown together where I'm running out of things to do. So I figured I'd try and, you know, put some of my fucking not so great building skills to the test and just kind of dick around and see what I can make. And hey, if push comes to shove, it'll be a nice little, or if things go well, I should say, it'll be a nice little reminder of, you know, what it is that I did in this world. Making it a bit more difficult to forget. So I'm kind of just experimenting, testing things out, trying materials, poking at things, seeing what sticks, what doesn't. Still more or less just enjoying myself, not really holding myself to any crazy standards or anything like that. I don't really have anything in mind as to what I'm trying to make. More or less, it's just kind of letting my fingers do the work, and whatever happens, happens. I realize now why I might need... Yeah. That makes some sense. But no, generally I have no real idea what I'm doing. And honestly, I think that's fine. A lot of the time I tend to worry a lot in Minecraft about, what am I doing? Am I doing something coherent? Am I doing something, you know, worthwhile as far as progress is concerned? But that doesn't really mesh well with the way that I go about life normally. So I figure, fuck it. This time I'll just try and fuck around and just see. Quite literally playing fuck around and find out, just in Minecraft. We'll see how it turns out, though. I'm always been skeptical about my building skills, as is evident by the fact of, you know, the dome. But there's something to be said about it. Just casually vibing, having a good time, not doing anything too serious, not doing anything that, you know, requires you to be too present in what you're doing. Just sort of doing. There's not a lot of things these days that, you know, don't try and pry your attention into every little thing. It's like me and YouTube Shorts. I've been doing my best to just avoid that shit like the plague, because that's basically what it is at this point. It's like I enjoy YouTube content, but I don't need, you know, my videos to be recommendations of shorts. Like, if you get to that point in your YouTube life where your fucking recommended videos is a compilation of shorts, ooh, there's a problem. I wonder if my coffee's cooled down enough yet. But no, generally talking, this is more or less the energy that I like to enjoy bringing to my streams. Nothing too over the top, no fucking giant MLG gamer plays or anything like that too often. So those are fun to have every once in a while. It's more just having a good time. If I can be, you know, someone comes home from work or whatever and they're just vibing, having a good time, then hell, I'll take that. They don't even need to have me necessarily on as like the main thing they're watching. I'm perfectly chill with being the background. You know, being the thing that you have on, just kind of doing whatever. And honestly, with something like this, it's probably for the better, because you can look away, do whatever, you know, come back, and it's like, oh, that's where we're at now. You don't really feel like you miss much. You don't really feel like, you know, you're missing out. Generally speaking, it's not my favorite thing to try and, you know, force things on people. Like, even when, like, I have a Discord, but I don't like to advertise it, because it's like, it's a chill community, you know? Just a bunch of people vibing out, doing whatever. I'll do, like, hey, I'm going, you know, going live, but even still, that's not consistent, much like my streaming. And generally speaking, that's fine. No, I have an idea. I'm gonna do something real fun with this bit. So, I'm gonna get into one of the mods that I actually super enjoy building with, and with conjunction with a couple of the other mods that I have in this pack. Building with this mod is so much fun, legitimately. Like there's very few things that I'll actually sit down and say I love building with it. This case is one of them. It is a phenomenal combination of mods that I genuinely think anyone that builds with chisels and bits should have, and at the very least to learn the very bare minimum to do this. And that is, if you have a combination of the shrink mod, meaning you have access to personal shrinking devices, and you have access to hex casting, these two mods in conjunction with each other are phenomenal. Absolutely amazing for building with chisels and bits. And if you've never heard of hex casting, then I don't blame you. I've seldom seen it actually appear in a lot of mod packs, but generally speaking, with the shrink mod, you know, you can shrink down to about 20% of the size you would be normally. However, with hex casting, you can push that even further. You can turn Minecraft into an absolute behemoth of a game. And it's crazy. A single bit, a single pixel can be the size of a block if you really want it to be. It's kind of wild. So let me go ahead and demonstrate this real quick in the best way that I know how. Not that. I need gold. I don't need that much. 2 blocks is probably plenty. But I am gonna need wool. So, actually, I'll use this to start it. So you'll notice I've taken one piece off, just one. Now this entire block is different. But what I can do is this. If I can remember how to do it. There we go. So yeah, it's that. Wait, nope, hold on. That. And now I can physically stand inside the bit. This tiny, tiny little bit is now half the size of me. I'm minuscule in comparison to literally everything else. And this is why I love this combination of mods so much. Because all of those tiny little details that you have a difficult time actually getting a handle on when you're dealing with this mod in particular, you can now suddenly just dick around with and have fun. But to prevent my inventory from becoming absolutely inundated with, you know, everything, we need one of these. So now I can do things like coming down here into this. If I change it to a single bit, can do things like this, for example. Drawn cube. And even just by taking off the corners, this pillar looks so much better. It's kind of crazy. Like, even just by trimming this. This pillar gains so much depth, it's genuinely not funny. And if I wanted to get further into detail, I could then take this, cut that chunk out, do the same thing for each of them. Helps if I don't actually mess it up. You just trim out the chunks of blocks you don't want. And suddenly this flat pillar gets so much more depth. And if I go ahead and do this, that's not what I want. Oh, it's gonna be a minute. Yeah, don't mind that. If I don't look that way, it's fine. God, why is it so high res now? What happened? Alright, hold on, I gotta switch. This one's honestly fucking amazing if you have like a mid-range computer. It's very blue though. Why is it so blue? How about that? That did not change a damn thing. Is it green? Is that what it is? No, it doesn't do anything. Why does it look... Why does it look like that? Hold on. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, that's better. But not like, generally speaking, you can tell it's more, you know, it's got more depth to it. Everything has a tendency to just kind of appear better. I don't know. And honestly, I think the sort of off-kilter pillars adds a bit more of like a handcrafted look to it. Because like pillars were never perfect. But what we can do is, because we're so small, it takes us fucking ages to get to the ground. The patterns is what I need. So, let's see. Here, let me head back inside real quick. We'll just, we'll do a 2x2 line. There we go. But no, you can kind of see how crazy valuable it would be just to have this kind of control over your building techniques as a builder. Okay, so I came in here to make the write down patterns, hold down right click while holding a piece of paper in the other hand while looking at a chiseled block. Okay. And yeah, I'll make this just in case. And just in case I want to add other fluids to it. No, generally speaking, I don't mind being, you know, the noise in the background, the casual music, or just random ranting, yapping. Like, that's fine by me. So, paper in my offhand. Ah. Yeah, that's not what you want. So the good news about this is that... What the fuck you mean I don't have enough bits? What? Huh? What? Then where did the rest of it go? There we go. Got plenty for it now. But no, things like that, I can definitely do something with that. Oh, I don't have... Yeah, I don't have honey. That's a problem. Do that in here. Then I can do this in here. I've just realized I don't know how this works actually. Like, I'm genuinely unsure. I don't think I've ever actually used it. Carving is the one I want. Right? Cannot place pattern. The targeted block is not chiseled. Huh? I would have thought that I wanted chiseling, but I guess that's not the case. Removal doesn't do what I need it to do. Maybe it's imposement? No, because that doesn't work. Merge? No. What? That doesn't make any sense. So what am I doing here exactly? Because okay, no, I think I have an idea then. What the f... See, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why it does that. Yep, and now I'm out on that. And maybe I'll just leave the calcite pillars as they are. Because it's clear for whatever reason that they're not. Huh? It's not. Why? Thank you. Yeah, that sucks. That's not what I want it to do. Oh well. It is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. So, we'll just go ahead and do this. There we go. Oh, that's back to normal. I wanted to at least try. Figured I'd give it a shot, but it didn't seem like it liked it. I won't be the first to say that I'm good at building. Fuck, I won't even be the last person to say that I'm good at building, because honestly, I think I'm shit at it. But every once in a while, I get this idea in my head that I can imagine how I would execute it. And maybe that's what artist block feels like, where you just kind of start something and you more or less feel like, well, how? Or, you know, what's the point? All that kind of stuff. And as someone who doesn't really do art, it feels kind of strange. Maybe it sounds slightly pretentious of me to say it like that, but I mean, that just kind of is how it is for me. But no, I think if I can just be, you know, the person you toss on at the end of the day, at the end of a long day, and just kind of vibe out and hang out with, I feel like I'm doing my part as a streamer. Because I know for a fact I've had many a times where it's just like, you really want the day to be over. You don't know necessarily how you're feeling inside, and everything's kind of a fucking mess, but you sit down, you know, you sit Stare at the screen for a moment. You sort of get lost in a world, you know? And that's more or less how I feel with Minecraft. It's super easy to just kind of disappear into it and, you know, really lean back and just kind of do nothing but something at the same time. Kind of like yapping. You say a lot, but go nowhere. Ultimately means nothing. But every once in a while, if the stars align and everything works out, you come out with something that looks really nice. Sounds nice. Real picturesque thing, you know? Maybe that's stupid, maybe that's crazy, but... Oh, didn't want to throw that. But generally speaking, I mean, hey, what's the harm in, you know, sitting down in front of a computer screen, helping someone forget about their day? Sometimes life sucks. Sometimes things happen that are out of your control, and, you know, you kind of just have to sit there and, you know, sit with it. I'm just hoping that eventually when I, you know, pull away from it all, take a moment and sit back and, you know, look at what all I've made. You know, I just want to be able to think that it looks nice. I can feel confident that I've grown in some way, you know, confident in something that I've made, something that I've put together, assembled, you know, reassembled, etc. Because a lot of the times it's kind of difficult to put ideas into a coherent manner that makes sense to others. Because, you know, no amount of sitting down and rambling to yourself makes it coherent to anyone else. It's something I struggled with a lot in school, where it's like I had an issue in class, but I could never fully specifically articulate it in a way that would, you know, make sense to others, because in my head it's like, no, this makes sense, why aren't you understanding? And, you know, you'd have teachers that would try and help, they'd try and, you know, get on your level, but when you can't properly explain what all your, you know, mental pathways are going on in your head, it sucks. Because now you're just kind of sitting with yourself, angry about not being able to properly communicate it. And then, you know, God forbid you get other people who try and, like, pry in and, you know, put words in your mouth. I might need to shrink a little more. Oh shit. There we go. But no, like, generally speaking, it's kind of tough sometimes. Especially when it comes to certain certain subjects and stuff. Like I was talking about it earlier, it's just I've kind of fallen into a rabbit hole of sitting down and actually putting more stake and more value into the worlds in Minecraft that I've been putting together. Because in layman's terms, it's just a dead, empty husk of a world that doesn't really have, it doesn't have anything going on in it. Like, it was never, oh, I'm gonna stop fucking doing that. Like, it was never going to be a situation of, oh, this is a thing that, you know, it exists. And it does, for a while. And then when you leave, what's left? You know, sure, you have the memories of what you made in the world, but after you've sat back and, you know, you've thought about it and you've, you know, contemplated what all you've done in that world, and inevitably end up forgetting what's left. And I don't know why in particular it's sort of like bugged me, or, you know, like stuck in my head in this particular way, because it's like a really moot point, I guess. And maybe that's just, you know, maybe that's just me and my way of thinking. But for whatever reason, it sticks in my head, and I got to stop doing that. Holy shit. But it stuck. And for whatever reason, like, I can't mentally get that image out of my head of just an empty, you know, devoid world that you existed in. And for a while it was, you know, you were there. And I don't know. Like, alright, I gotta fucking unshrink myself because this shit ain't working. There we go. But, no, like, generally speaking, as someone who doesn't really feel like... Wait, what happened here? That's what happened here. Okay. Oh, that's too far. But, no, like, I want... Basically all this comes down to is building a better frame for the picture, you know? And oftentimes that tends to make things stick. 'Cause, like, you have all of these, like, you know, beautiful pictures, but if they're just kind of in a really shitty frame, you don't really ever pay attention to them, you don't really ever, you know, notice them or pay too much heed to them, and they just kind of fade out. And that's fine in one respect, but in another, it's kind of like losing a part of yourself. I think a thing that I've begun to notice is I'm more or less slowly developing a fear of developing dementia at this point. Because, well, my memory isn't great, I do pride myself in my memory. Like, I like to think that I have a semi-decent one for, like, random, obscure things that don't really mean a lot to people. And losing that feels like it would be losing me. I don't know. It's tough to fully articulate, because it's just kind of jumbled, incoherent nonsense in my head that I just kind of came on to build and vibe. You know? But it's therapeutic in a way. Just sitting down, putting something together, kind of just not really doing anything. Enjoying the process, enjoying, you know, having time to do nothing. And maybe it's just me, but I feel like I don't do it much anymore. I'm always so busy with work, always so, you know. I'm using quartz. Not what I want to be using. But, like, I'm always so caught up on, oh, when's my next day, you know, when am I going in for work, when am I doing this, when am I doing that? And generally I'm a pretty laid-back person, so, you know, getting my entire schedule figured out and, you know, annoyingly uptight is kind of just bothersome to me. Like, it doesn't feel good in some aspects, you know? Because, generally speaking, it's okay. You know, you have a better handle on what you're doing that day, and you know what all to expect, but I don't know. Part of me misses being, you know, some bratty ass kid dicking around in the snow. Like, you know you get school tomorrow, but outside of that, really, what else? I didn't do sports, so I wasn't worried about, you know, fucking doing practice, keeping my grades up, nothing like that. Honestly, I can't help but feel like I did homework the best. I just didn't do it. Like, the moment I heard a class just be like, oh yeah, you know, homework's 10% of your grade, immediately checked out. I almost got held back because of it. That didn't change my perspective on homework, though, because I still fucking hated it. But generally, it was just kind of a situation where I hated doing it. I didn't see the inherent value of it because it's just shit to bog your mind down. And it wasn't a situation of like, oh, I did shit in school. No, I did okay. I tested well. But just for whatever reason, I didn't want to do anything, I didn't want anything to do with fucking homework. I hated that shit. I absolutely hated it. And I know that's not just like a me thing. I know a lot of people fucking hate homework. But for whatever reason, I found myself just kind of not bothering to do it. And maybe it's just me overthinking it, but for whatever reason in school they have this really weird like shame side of things where it's like if you don't do your homework, suddenly you get really fucking called out in class. Like, I don't know if that was just me, and maybe it was, but that was certainly a thing that I noticed where it was like, you're sitting in class having a good time, and all of a sudden like, alright, let's get the homework from last night out. And there'd be, you know, X, Y, or Z questions, people would do this, that, and the other thing, and you know, generally it was an okay time. But when I got to be like, alright, teacher's going around, gonna pick up the homework, make sure you've got it ready. And, like, every time, for whatever reason, they'd come up to me and they'd be like, do you have your homework ready? I'd be like, no. They'd be like, oh, why don't you have your homework ready? It's just 'cause I didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? Because I didn't do it. And, like, it was always this really fucking shitty back and forth exchange where they just hammered in the fact of like, oh, this person didn't do their homework. And I don't know why that always like really, really fucking stuck with me to make me hate it even more. Like, I get generally it's not meant to, you know, harm you in any way to do your fucking homework. Like, as an adult, I get it. But, like, as a child, you don't fucking care. Like, generally speaking, as a child, that shit took away from my fucking video game time. What? Why would I bother going out of my way to, you know, fucking scribble down a bunch of shit on a piece of paper when I knew what I was doing? And that's the thing that they always tried to hammer home, was like, oh yeah, you know, you gotta do this to make sure you remember all the stuff that you need to do. And it's like, well, if you remembered what you needed to do, why would you need to do the homework? And if you were doing good, why would you get punished for not doing the homework? And it's like, generally speaking, again, as an adult, I understand why they do it the way that they do. Why it is the way that it is, but that always, like, super pissed me off. And, like, it's always is like this really ingrained memory that I have of just, you know, sitting in class, having a good day, and they'd bring it up, and suddenly it becomes this weird stigmatism that you didn't do your homework. How could you not do your homework? You had, you know, fucking X amount of time to do it, why didn't you do it? Like, that was supposed to, you know, encourage you to do your homework. And, like, I don't know. It probably didn't help that I was basically the odd kid out in my class. Like, I was, for the lack of better terms, my school's quote-unquote Jesus. You know, every school has that one kid that looks like a vague interpretation of what people think Jesus looks like. And it's like, oh, hey! I don't know. I was definitely more known for my hair than I was for actually being me. Which I found funny. Though I do think it's more hilarious having somebody mistake me for a woman from behind. I had that happen to me not too long ago at work. It was really funny. This one woman, she was looking for something. I for the life of me cannot remember what. But like I heard her, and I knew she was calling for me, because I was in the middle of doing something in the aisle that she happened to look down at the time because I was mopping, and she's like, "Ma'am, ma'am," and then I turn around and like the slowest turn that I could just to really accentuate what she had done, just very subtly, and it was great. Alright. That'd be a pain, but I really, you know what, I really want to do it. But no, like, I realize I've been kind of all over the place tonight, and honestly, that's basically the gist of my entire streaming career. Is like, my timing's all over the place, what I'm doing is all over the place, what I'm playing is all over the place. Generally speaking, I'm probably about as milquetoast as variety comes, and I'm fine with that. I think more often than not these days, I tend to find myself just kind of thinking more than I used to, which, you know, to myself, saying that out loud sounds kind of fucking insane because thinking is just about all I do. But, no, it's been weird. Because maybe as part of being an adult that I've started to keep some level of, you know, general idea. What am I doing here? Oh, okay. That's what. General idea of what it is that I have in mind. But more often than not, it doesn't really go anywhere or do anything. You know what? I'll keep the smooth quartz. God, this is fucking impossible to see with the shaders. Alright, hold on. We'll do a fucking sunglasses on later. So I need a singular plane. There we go. Honestly, nah, I actually super fuck with that. Like, it's nothing crazy, it's just a plate. But I really do like that. But no, generally speaking, I'd like to give my Minecraft worlds a bit more love and actual, like, attention to what went on inside of them. Because there are stories there. And there's history to them that I think However, the individual person shouldn't be forgotten quite so easily. Oh, that cut into the block, didn't it? That's fine. I won't be able to see the difference, so... Oh no, it didn't. Cool. Okay. But no, it's gonna seem kind of dumb and kind of pointless, but this is just kind of like a signature, I guess. Something to remember this world by. A build of some kind that I'll remember having made. And it's kind of like a lot of others, but in a way I want it to also be a method of me sort of pushing the envelope of what I do and don't build. Okay. We're getting somewhere. I'm still not fully sure what I want to do with the whole thing. I think the biggest thing that set me down the whole path of just kind of sitting and thinking with my thoughts was, funnily enough, just a random YouTube video of music overlaid on some pixel art. And for the folks that have seen it, you'll have a general idea of what I'm talking about, because they have a fucking absolutely unmistakable charm to them that, honestly, I'm kind of impressed that I never saw them. And for all I know, You know, maybe it's some kind of... Really? That one fucking pixel. You know what? You win. I'll let you have that one, Chief. But, like, it's a really unmistakable sort of community that these videos have. Because it's just a bunch of people sharing their day-to-day experiences and some of the struggles they happen to be going through at the time. And in a world of just absolute AI slop and, you know, overproduced, overhyped, over, you know, X, Y, and Z, overpriced, you know, you name it, abbreviation, whatever. Like, it's just crazy sitting down and imagining that the world was once like that. Where it was just people sitting and talking. YouTube used to be broadcast yourself, and, you know, it was about the people. Now it's about whether or not you can fucking milk the algorithm for $600 a week. I don't know. Maybe I've become old and grizzled. That'd be a fucking hoot. But no, I find myself sort of falling into that kind of situation. I don't know, it's hard to explain fully. How do I want to do this? I think I have an idea. But no, I want to start creating sort of, I guess, monuments, mental bookmarks in my head, just to be like, this is something I did in the world. And maybe one day I'll, you know, sit back and when I'm old and fucking gray, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a thing that I did. And who knows? That might be important. Damn it. I need dirt. I don't know. I'm shit at yapping, can you tell? Although I suppose maybe if it's primarily just circular, nonsensical bullshit, maybe I'm great at it. Don't know. Alright. Okay. Right. So I was using quartz. That suddenly becomes a problem when I go to mine it. Actually, you know what? No. Hold on. Let me do this properly. So, if it's 8, generally, if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3. No, that's not. Shit. Huh? What? What is happening here? Okay. I was really confused there for a second. It was just because it was a visual bug. do that. But I'm gonna have to get rid of that. There we go. That's better. So I do that, and then that. I think I've deleted too much. Yep, too much. Oh no, that's it. Okay. So okay. No, you know what? I like the look of that. I wasn't expecting it to come out looking like that, but honestly, worth it. Out of curiosity, if I do this, how does that affect how it looks? You know what? I like that better. Yeah, no, I like that way better. game is not going to like trying to move this giant complex structure. That much I am certain of. However, it will do so. Shit. There we go. So now that'll all come with it. Before anyone asks, yes. Yes, I am planning on moving this entire structure as an elevator. Oh, this one didn't get a top layer. Weird. That is what would happen, huh? Oh, those are single bits. Forgot that was a scale I was working on. There we go. That's better. Mm-hmm. Much better. Like this whole setup has legitimately no meaning to anyone else. But it will to me. And if I can get it to move, well then... think of it like I'd be bringing a piece of it with me. Wherever I happen to go. Unfortunate downside is I have to spend the next fucking 30 half an hour to fucking 45 minutes trying to fucking glue all this together. So, there's that aspect to it. slowly but surely, we'll get there. Unfortunately, I have, like, no durability on this, so, yeah, there's that. But I think this is a really good start. Eventually what I want to try and do is just move this entire structure all as an elevator. I really don't know how I'm gonna go about doing that, because it honestly doesn't seem like it'd be, you know, reasonably feasible, but I'm interested. I want to try it. I want to see if I can potentially... You almost did it. You almost did it. But I want to get myself to be more coherent, more, you know, thoughtful with how I go about building. Because most of the time, sure, I'm alright with building. Like, I can sometimes. I don't enjoy doing the whole fucking block vomit nonsense, which, like, oh, it needs to have fucking 16 different, you know, this, that, and the other thing. No. No. I'm a very simple person. I enjoy simple things. I don't think things need to necessarily be overly complicated or, you know, obscenely over-manufactured to be, you know, this perfect, you know, absolute monolith of what is, was, and always will be. Like, it just needs to be enough to you. I don't mean to you as in, like, you know, folks watching, but just, you know, do whatever. If you're shy about it, then do it for yourself. If you got others, then do it for them. Because it's not exactly guaranteed that we get every day. Even just the little things of sitting down in front of a screen, ranting and rambling about incoherent nonsense, trailing from story to story. It's fine. I'd love to see the more human side of what was YouTube come back. You know? The actual you side of it. Because, well, we're coming together in some aspects. It's not quite the same. I'm realizing now that the more that I add to this bottom bit, the more that I'm gonna have to fucking try and figure out how the hell I'm gonna move it all. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's where I'm gonna end it for this one. I've been streaming for a bit longer than I thought I would. Mainly just because I've been having a good time. Talking about nothing and also simultaneously lots of things. I think generally my sort of stance on where YouTube is and why I tend to prefer Twitch over YouTube, despite Twitch's innumerable flaws in the way that it operates and runs. I do enjoy it more, because there's not really much, I'll say, that you have to really worry about in terms of AI swap. There's unsavory folks, but I think generally people who are on Twitch are more often than not nicer. I think there's less of a bot issue with Twitch because, I don't know, on YouTube you have to compete with AI slop being like the man walked into the store and was shocked when he saw the little girl's face, like all that shit. Like, I don't know. Part of me just, like I said, enjoys the whole ranting about nothing aspect of it. That sort of, second side of YouTube that people don't really get in touch with anymore. And I think that sucks. Because it used to just be like two dudes or, two people just going out dicking around doing whatever. Now you have to be like fucking producing high quality fucking, $100 X, Y, or Z or whatever, and that pulls clicks. Like, that's fucking stupid. I don't know. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting for one night. I've been ranting too long. Anyway, that'll be for this one. Appreciate you folks for stopping by, hanging out with me, just kind of generally vibing out, listening to me bitch piss and moan about, whatever the fuck was on my mind. Honestly, I don't know. It looks good so far. But I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what I'll end up making out of this, because I'm still unsure. I'm kind of just talking, ranting, doing whatever, and letting things happen. Not really paying attention to either really what I'm saying or what I'm doing. And so far it's not much, but honestly it's not bad either. Like, it's pretty good. And it's well outside the scope of what I would usually make, so I'm interested. I want to see where this will go, what its progression will be, what it'll end up looking like, because I don't fucking know. If this is all it was, then I'd be okay with that. It's simple, it's, nothing crazy, but I had fun with it. Anyway, before I go down another tangent, that'll be this one. If you're on YouTube, drop a subscribe, like, whatever the hell you want. Like, that's up to you. If you're on Twitch, drop a follow. I stream whenever. It isn't usually this heady, philosophical nonsense. Most of the time it's just me dicking around in whatever game I happen to be playing. Tonight was just kind of one of those nights. Anyway.